Hi, class, and welcome to week 6. Conflict. Conflict is something that's noted that you can't get away from at times. As our text noted, that student affairs administrators or their supervisors just want conflict to go away. No one likes to be confrontational. So now we're getting to the point where it's asking to provide an example of a conflict that you've had to navigate in the workplace. So, with working in student affairs and higher education, there are times when you just don't agree with what's actually taking place. You know, it could be your supervisor, it could be leadership roles. Um, so, what I do in order to resolve conflict is, you know, I try to see things in the other person's light. You know what I'm saying? You have those conversations with maybe, your other coworkers, not in a gossip session. Definitely not in a gossip session. That only makes things worse. But just trying to, maybe getting them to tell you in a different light will help you understand exactly, why is my supervisor telling me to do this, And of course if it does not make sense and it goes against all moral ethics, trust, don't do that if it goes against all your morals and all your ethics and you just cannot make sense of it. But I just try to stay away from it. But also, um, you sometimes do have to just address it. You do have to address conflict. You do sometimes, how they say, address the elephant in the room. Sometimes you do just have to do that, but you do it in a professional manner that's not disrespectful to the person. And then sometimes people, if you have a headstrong individual, sometimes they just think their way is right. Um, and then you do have those instances where you do have to sometimes still voice how you feel about it. You know, when you're dealing with students, especially if you've been in the field for a while, you kind of already know what to expect, but you don't use it as a stereotype. But you kind of just take those things and take them as they come. But I also try to, always be respectful when dealing with conflict. Um, I try to not so much avoid it, and I know I say avoid because it's like run away from your problems. I don't think you should do that, but I think you should be able to, kind of avoid it if you can. Come to a common ground, a common resolution, if that's the only option that you have. But definitely, I don't think you should walk around miserable and having to duck and dodge people because you don't want to deal with them. I think especially in the workplace, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy work environment. So I don't advise that. But if it's a person that you don't have to deal with directly and you already know how they are, um, just try to stay away from them because it's probably nothing that you can do or say to kind of make them see it your way anyway. Um, I do think that these initiative models work in student affairs and higher education because it kind of helps not only the staff member or the faculty member to help come to a resolution, but it also helps the student to understand how to deal with conflict and help show them how to do it in professional light. So I really do think that the initiatives do actually work. And then, what are some general reasons that conflict exists in student affairs and higher education? Again, anytime that you have conflict, it's just based off a misunderstanding. You might have heard it one way, or you just totally disagree. Excuse me, you totally disagree with the person. And conflict just arises just by you all not being able to communicate effectively and be able to come to a common understanding as to why this is a particular way, or and to best, how can you best prevent them or value them as a chapter claims. Conflict is a learning lesson. Majority of the time it just deals with the person's personality, how they react, how they come across. So that's majority of the time. Majority of the time people are just misunderstood, misinterpreted, or you just don't understand. So that's when you have conflict. So I think, to sum all of this up, when you're in a situation where you just have no means to an end, there's always, of course, your supervisor. Then, of course, maybe bringing those facilitators or mediators to kind of help bring someone with a level head to the discussion to kind of help you understand exactly what's happening, what's about to take place. And again, sometimes we have to bite the bullet. Sometimes we don't always agree with the way things are done, but we have to go about doing our jobs and doing our jobs effectively. Sometimes you just have to remove yourself from the situation. If conflict is that bad, you just have to remove yourself. If there's just no means to an end, you just can't deal with whoever this person is, you can't deal with their rules, you don't want to deal with their rules, you just remove yourself from the situation in a positive way. But in most situations, you're able to talk it out. You just may need someone to step in to kind of help keep the situation under control. So being a administrator in student services or student affairs, when you're dealing with students, try to always keep the thought that they are a student, they are an adult student. They feel a particular way because they either want to see change or they want a resolution to their issue. So just always just take it for what it is. Listen to the person. Separate yourself, your thoughts, your emotions away, and let's just look at it as a whole. Thanks for listening.